Hey, my friends, today we're going to talk about secret number 4 in my little black book of homeschooling secrets, how to blend your child's education with your occupation during isolation. So yesterday we talked about start with why, and it's such a critical component. Now we're moving into today's topic, which is an equally critical component. The two of them together are like a stick of dynamite in everything you do in life, not just homeschooling. So remember, the reason that we are even taking this sidestep to get our lives working with homeschooling is because it's like this massive curveball that we were thrown from the universe. So we've got to figure out how we're going to turn it into a grand slam home run. So we weren't expecting to be dealing with this in 2020, but you know the old saying, we make plans and God laughs. So right now, this is definitely an area of life where God had bigger plans than what we ever could have imagined. So we are absolutely going to make the best of it. So let's focus on this phrase. The way you do anything in life is the way you do everything in life. This is a concept that I learned as a very young entrepreneur. And I've got to be honest with you, it rocked my world. I spent years marinating on this concept, meditating on it, thinking about it, absorbing it. Every time I wanted to take a shortcut, every time I was feeling lazy or I was exhausted or I just didn't feel like doing the thing, whatever that thing was that was going to help me move forward in my business or my personal goals, this phrase came back to my mind. The way you do anything in life is the way you do everything in life. And I want to share this with you just as a quick example so that we can then tie it back into homeschooling. So one of the things that I teach my clients and my students that we work on a lot is the fact that your business is nothing more than an extension of who you are in life. Okay? So if your business is just an extension of who you are, then if your life is a mess, your business is going to follow suit. Okay? So have you ever heard this saying called putting a Band-Aid on the Grand Canyon? So what it means, obviously, is that it's a tiny little solution that's never actually going to work. Okay? So there are a lot of people that make an effort to put a Band-Aid on the Grand Canyon when it comes to their business. So rather than doing a massive exploration and overhaul of trying to realign their business or build their business from the beginning in a way that has a strong foundation is going to allow them to succeed so that their business works for the long haul, then they just create a series of shortcuts. They just put Band-Aid over Band-Aid over Band-Aid, or they build their house, on the proverbial sinking sand, and it never works to begin with. And then when you dig deeper into the personalities or the characters of these people, what you find is that their life was built in the exact same way. Why? Because the way you do anything in life is the way you do everything in life. And your business is nothing more than an extension of who you are in life. So if your life is a mess, you can't have this messy, crazy life that doesn't work and then have this amazing, unbelievable, awesome, highly successful business. It doesn't work because it's the same brain that's operating the two. Make sense? Okay. Now, how does this apply to homeschooling? Well, think about it. Your homeschooling is nothing more. Let's just substitute the words for a second. Your quality of homeschooling is nothing more than an extension of who you are in life, right? So if your life is a mess, then your homeschooling is going to be a mess. Now, what does that mean? Okay, we have a few options if we really let this sink in. We can either just go, no, I don't want to deal. I don't want to look at that. I'm going to take the blue pill. I'm going to retreat. I'm going to extract myself. I don't want to deal in reality. Or we can say, yeah, that's actually accurate. So I've got some work to do. I may as well get started. And taking that path is the only path that is going to ever actually create for us the life and the reality that we want. So yesterday we talked about start with why. And if we're looking at homeschooling our kids and really taking responsibility for the education of our kids. In other words, when our kids are kicked off of the education, factory line when they turn 18, and of course we know education never stops, and then they're just going into, college, university, but I'm talking about for that lump sum of time when they're under your roof. So if we want to take full responsibility for the types of humans that we are going to put out into the world, we have to do a lot of question asking about what is it that they're learning over there at school, who's teaching them those things, all those things that we discussed yesterday, right? So if we know that at least for the short term, at least for a couple of months, for whatever reason, the universe, God, has decided that we are the ones that need to be responsible for this education. So if we're going to look back at our theme for today, the way we do anything in life is the way we do everything in life. We've got to ask ourselves, okay, how's my life working for me right now? Am I taking shortcuts everywhere I go? Am I doing all of my jobs only 60, 70%? Am I doing just enough to get by? Or am I a follow-through queen? Am I going that extra mile, walking that road less traveled to really create and build a world of excellence for myself and for my family? And then the same exact thing would follow suit for our homeschooling and for our kids who are being homeschooled by us. So, we're going to talk about this in a later chapter, but of course we know that what's caught really hits home much more than what's taught. So of course our kids are learning around us from what they're watching us do far more than, the lessons, the verbal talking tos that we're giving our kids. So what would it look like if we were to homeschool with excellence? That's what we want to look at today. If I know the way I do anything is the way I do everything, what kind of education do I want my kids to get? And how can I make sure they get it? How can I make sure that it is the quality education that I want for them to have? Now, of course, you may, and most likely are, also working from home. So it doesn't mean that you become their, 24/7 aide where you're glued to them all day sitting next to them and you have nothing else going on in your life. But there is a solution to everything if we're willing to dig deep enough. We'll talk about that later, okay? But for right now, just look at, yes, I have a job to do. Yes, I have income to earn. Yes, I have many other responsibilities in my life, and I'm going to figure out how to fit all of that together. We're going to do that together, you and me. Don't worry, okay? But for right now, just look at what would excellence look like. If I want to represent excellence in my life with my family and everything that I do, I want to be a champion. I want to give my best. I don't want to settle for mediocrity. What does excellent education look like? What would that look like, and how would I be able to deliver that to my kids? That's what I want you to start exploring and thinking about right now. Just let the creative juices flow. Don't get all stressed out or caught up in the how. As in, how am I going to have enough time? How am I going to do all Don't go down that road just yet, okay? Don't worry about killing yourself of having to be there, 24/7 teacher's aide like we just talked about, but just think about excellent education. What would it include? What subjects would it include? What types of learning? Do I want them just learning from the textbook, or do I want them having real world experience? Do I want them to just be someone that can memorize, or do I want them to actually have problem solving and creative thinking and critical skill abilities? Okay, these are the types of things that I want you to think about with the way you do anything. Is it time to up your game as how you're showing up in life every day alongside how you're going to groom your kids to show up in life every day? So think about that tonight. It's a big one, I know, and we'll keep going tomorrow. See you then. Bye for now.